Picture this. A slap so loud it drowned out Hollywood's glitz. A moment so wild it's still ricocheting through time. It's November 26th, 2024, and the Kyle and Jackie O Show studio in Sydney is electric 2 days before Thanksgiving. The air crackles with anticipation. The glass booth pulses with neon lights, coffee steam curling like a dare. Rob Schneider, comedy's rogue warrior, strides in, leather jacket slung over his wiry frame, here to hawk a film. But forget the script today. He's unloading a grenade, and it's aimed square at Will Smith. Buckle up. This is about to get raw. Kyle Sandilands, the gravel-throated king of radio, smirks into his mic, his eyes dancing with chaos. Rob, mate, your live hit us. Jackie O, sleek and sharp, flashes a grin that says she's ready for anything. Behind the glass, Sarah, a 25-year-old producer, grips her headphones, her heart thudding. She's worshipped Will Smith. Since she was a kid, his Fresh Prince laugh a bomb for her roughest days. She expected a promo gig, not a reckoning. But Rob's voice cuts through like a blade, and the room tilts. You remember that Oscars slap, right? Will Smith decking Chris Rock 2 years ago, and it's still a volcano. His rasp turns venomous, eyes glinting. I'm calling it. Will's a fraud. That night, he ripped off his mask. Mr. Nice Guy? Gone. What's left is dark, messy. Real. He's been hiding it, and bam, one swing at my mate Chris, the best comedian alive, exposed him. The studio gasps, a collective jolt. Kyle cackles. Bloody hell, you're not holding back. Jackie leans in, intrigued. Big call, Rob. What's your beef? Sarah's jaw drops, her fingers trembling over the controls. Will a fraud? She sees him in pursuit of happiness, chasing dreams, not fists. Rob's words claw at her hero worship. I was SAG elected then, he snaps, stuck in silence while they debated punishing him. Chris kicked open comedy's doors. Will spat on that. And the Academy? Spineless let him waltz off with a statue. Kyle nods, gleeful. Mate, he shattered that golden boy vibe in 10 seconds flat. Jackie tilts her head, voice like silk. Hang on, Will's marriage mess with Jada, all that public drama. Couldn't that push anyone over the edge? Sarah clings to Jackie's lifeline. Maybe Will snapped under pressure, not malice. But Rob scoffs, his laugh bitter. Pressure? Kyle's under it. You are. I am. We don't slap legends over a quip. Chris's gold will turn diamonds to dust that night. The booth hums, tension thick as tar. Sarah's mind spins hero or heel. Kyle's grin widens. Jackie's brow arches, and Rob's fire ignites the airwaves. This isn't a chat. It's a showdown, and the fuse is lit. Everyone's listening now, ears glued, hearts racing for what's next. The Kyle and Jackie O Show studio pulsed like a live wire. Rob Schneider's words crackling through the airwaves on November 26, 2024. The neon glow bathed the booth in a surreal haze, amplifying the heat of his attack on Will Smith. Kyle Sandilands lounged in his chair, a predator's grin spreading as he fed off the drama. Jackie O sat poised, her calm exterior masking a mind racing to unpack the mess. Behind the glass, Sarah wrestled with her headphones, her breath shallow. Rob's venom had pierced her bubble. Will Smith, her childhood hero, a fraud? The debate was a runaway train, and she was strapped in for the ride. Rob leaned into the mic, his voice a gritty growl. Let's rewind to that night. Oscars 2022, Hollywood's crown jewel. Chris Rock's up there, sharp as ever, tossing out a zinger about Jada's buzz cut. G.I. Jane 2, he says, light as a feather. Will's laughing, front row, all teeth and charm. 10 seconds later, he's a freight train, storming the stage, smacking Chris so hard the sound bounces off the Dolby Theater walls. Stunned silence, then chaos. I was in Mexico, directing a flick when my assistant wide-eyed says, "We'll just slap Chris." I laughed. "No way." Pulled out my phone way. Chris, the guy who kicked comedy's doors wide open, took it like a champ. Kyle jumped in, his gravelly laugh cutting through. Mate, it was W.E. meets red carpet. Will's cackling 1 second, swinging the next. What flipped the switch? Rob's eyes darkened. Jada's glare. That's it. One eye roll, and Mr. Nice Guys gone. Chris? He's the best of us, paved the way for Chappelle, Hart, all of them. Will's slap wasn't just a hit. It was a gut punch to a legend's legacy. Jackie nodded slowly, her fingers tracing the mic stand. Okay, Rob, but let's dig deeper. Will's built this empire. Fresh Prince, Independence Day, all sunshine and inspiration. That night shattered it. Was it just a bad call or something festering? Sarah's heart thudded in the control booth. She pictured Will's grin on her old TV, rapping goofy lyrics, chasing dreams in pursuit of happiness. Rob's version dark, unhinged clashed like static in her mind. She wanted to scream. He's more than that. But the glass wall held her mute. Kyle tilted his head, egging Jackie on. Yeah, what's the excuse? Pressure? Boo-hoo, we've all got it. Jackie's voice softened, probing. Fair, but hear me out. Will and Jada open marriage, public mess. She's on Red Table Talk, spilling it all. We trust each other to find our way. That's heavy. Chris's jab hit a nerve, maybe. Will snap defending her honor? Rob snorted, cutting the air with a dismissive wave. Honor? Spare me. I've met Will charming, polished, a total act. Pressure's universal, Jackie. Kyle's got it. You've got it. I've been under it. Directing in the jungle with no sleep. You don't clock your mate over a quip. Chris took it. Didn't flinch, genius under fire. Will? He turned a golden night into a brawl. Kyle cackled, slamming the desk. Bloody, right? Imagine me smacking you for a wisecrack. Jackie's studio be a war zone. Jackie smirked. You'd try, and I'd duck. But seriously, Rob, was Will always this unhinged, you think? Sarah's fingers twitched over the controls. Jackie's question gnawed at her. Could her hero have cracks she'd missed? Rob leaned back, his tone biting. Always? Maybe. Not. But that slap? It's the real Will peeking out ego, not honor. I was SAG then, stuck in committee debates about punishing him. Couldn't speak union rules. Meanwhile, the Academy's twiddling thumbs, scared to look racist. They let him grab Best Actor, soak in applause, while Chris' bloodied lip kept his cool. Cowards, all of them. Kyle's eyes lit up. That's the kicker. Oscars turned woke. Oh, we can't touch Will optics. If I'd done it, I'd be in cuffs. Jackie raised a brow, her voice threading the needle. Optics matter, sure, but violence is violence. Still, Will's human, Jada's public stuff. The rumors, the scrutiny. Couldn't that push anyone over? Rob shook. His head, fierce. No excuse. Look at Trump. Obama roasted him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, shredded him. Trump didn't swing. He built a movement, won the presidency twice. Pressure's a forge, you melt or you harden. Will melted, then swung. Adults don't do that. Chris? He still took the hit, didn't sue, didn't cry. Will's the problem here, not the victim. Sarah's stomach churned. Trump? She hadn't seen that coming. Her mind flashed to Will's GQ interview. Marriage isn't a prison. He'd said, all zen and free-spirited. Jada's Red Table confessions echoed too raw, unfiltered. Maybe Jackie was right. Maybe it was a breaking point. But Rob's steel and fire take on Chris stirred her too. She'd laughed at his specials, brilliant, fearless. Had Will really spat on that? Kyle's voice boomed, yanking her back. Rob's nailed it. Will's a poser. Man in Black charm? Fake. One slap, and the mask's off. Academy should have yanked that statue precedence there. Rob nodded, his jaw tight. Exactly. They've revoked Oscars before cocaine scandals, cheating. But Will? Slaps a guy on live TV. Strolls up for gold. Weak. I have been hauled out. No question, white, brown, whatever. Violence doesn't get a pass, 'cause you're famous or black or pressured. Chris held it together, Will didn't. Jackie tapped her nails. Thoughtful. So it's not just Will, it's the system too. They froze. Let him stay. Why? Rob's laugh was bitter. Woke paralysis. Can't punish him, looks bad. Damage control came days later, 10-year ban. Too late. Night's ruined. Spotlight stolen. Sarah's chest tightened. She saw Will's tearful acceptance speech in her mind raw, broken. Was it fake? Rob's fury painted him as a villain, but Jackie's nudge about pressure lingered. Kyle's glee, Rob's fire, it was a storm, and she was caught in it. The airwaves thrummed, listeners hooked, as the clash deepened. This wasn't about a slap anymore. It was about truth, masks, and what happens when heroes fall. The Kyle and Jackie Osho studio crackled with raw intensity on November 26, 2024. The air thick with the fallout of Rob Schneider's fiery takedown. Kyle Sandlin's grinned like a Cheshire cat, relishing the chaos, while Jackie O sharp. Eyes darted between Rob and the control booth. Rob's leather jacket creaked as he leaned forward, his voice a blade slicing through the haze. Behind the glass, Sarah's nerves snapped. She couldn't take it anymore. Her hero, Will Smith, was being shredded, and the producer in her gave way to the fan. She yanked off her headphones, stormed into the booth, and grabbed a spare mic. "Rob, you're wrong." Sarah's voice trembled but rang clear, cutting the airwaves. Will's not a fraud, he's human. I grew up on him, Fresh Prince, Pursuit of Happiness. He inspired me through crap times, showed me dreams are real. One mistake doesn't erase that. The studio froze, Kyle's jaw dropping mid-laugh. Jackie raised a brow, intrigued, as Rob's gaze locked onto Sarah, a flicker of surprise in his eyes. Kyle recovered, snorting. "Oh, here we go, fangirl alert." He slapped a bloke on live TV, love, not a movie set. "Wake up." Sarah's cheeks burned, but she stood her ground. Jackie's voice slid in, smooth as velvet. "Easy, Kyle. Sarah's got a point. Will's built a legacy. But let's be real. That slap crossed a line. What do you reckon moment of madness? Or something more?" Sarah swallowed, her mind racing. "Madness, maybe. He's under a microscope, marriage stuff. Jada show?" Chris's joke hit raw. Doesn't excuse it, but it's not all fake. Kyle rolled his eyes, slamming the desk. "Bollocks! I'd cop a roast from Jackie and not deck her." "He's a poser, Rob's right, masks off." Rob nodded, his tone icy. "Nice try, kid. Inspiration's great until you smack a genius like Chris." Sarah's defiance wavered, but she pressed on. "Chris is amazing. I've laughed till I cried at his stuff. But Will's not trash. He messed up. Can't we see past it?" Rob's laugh was sharp, cutting. "Past it? He turned Oscars into a circus. I've got more, check this." He signaled the tech, and a grainy 2022 clip flickered on the studio screen. Jim Carrey, wild-haired and dead serious, on a talk show. His voice boomed through the speakers. That slap? Pure ego. Cast a pall over everyone's shine. Ariana DeBoss's historic win. Questlove's moment gone. Years of grind for those Oscars. A gauntlet of devotion, and Will's selfish stunt stole it. The room hushed, Jim's words sinking in. "If I'd stormed that stage," he continued, "security'd have me in cuffs. Cops asked Chris charges. He said no, didn't want the hassle. You yell from the seats. Tweet your beef, not slap a guy 'cause words stung. Will's got issues, frustration, whatever. I wish him well, but that was a dark move. The clip faded, and Rob pounced. See? Jim nails it. Chris took the high road. Will took the low. Oscar's night's sacred blood, sweat, tears for those statues. Will made it the Will Smith show. Academy froze. Can't arrest him. Looks bad. Weak. Kyle clapped, gleeful. Bloody brilliant. Jim's spot-on ego trip, not honor. Should have been dragged out, not handed gold. Jackie tilted her head, her voice probing. Jim's got weight selfish, yeah? But Sarah's clinging to something. Will's not just that moment. Can he redeem it? Sarah seized the lifeline, her voice rising. Exactly. He's apologized, owned it. Why not forgive? People screw up. Chris didn't press charges, shows grace. Will can grow from this. Rob's eyes narrowed, his rebuttal swift. Forgive? Sure. Personally. But consequences? Hell yes. Academy's woke panic let him strut up for Best Actor applause and all. If I'd done it, jail. Violence is violence, no. Lots. Kyle's grin widened, his voice booming. Rob's got it, slap's a slap, no excuses. Sarah, your hero's a dud that night. Sarah's shoulders slumped, Jim's words echoing. Pall over everyone's shine. She saw Questlove's smile, Debus's tears, drowned by Will's drama. Rob's fire, Kyle's taunts, Jackie's questions, it crashed over her. Hey, messed up, she admitted, voice cracking. But he's not nothing. Rob's stare softened, just a flicker. Maybe not. But that night, he was the villain. The airwaves trembled, truth clashing, masks falling, and a reckoning blazing. Live. The Kyle and Jackie Osho studio softened as the storm of debate ebbed on November 26, 2024. Rob Schneider sat back, his leather jacket creaking, the fire in his eyes dimming to a thoughtful glow. Sarah stood in the booth, her mic trembling. Slightly, the weight of her words settling into silence. Kyle Sandilands' grin faded to a rare, pensive squint, while Jackie O's steady gaze held the room like an anchor. The airwaves, once ablaze, now carried a fragile calm, a chance to mend what it fractured. Rob broke the quiet, his rasp gentler, almost reflective. Look, Sarah, he said, I don't hate Will, never did. He's done great things, movies, music, moments that stick. That slap, it's a scar, not his soul. But Chris? He's my brother in this game. Took that hit, kept his dignity, taught us something about grace under fire. I'd love to see Will climb back, find that light again. Doesn't erase the mess, but it's a start. His words hung, a bridge between fury and hope. Sarah's shoulders eased, a flicker of relief crossing her face. She'd fought for her hero. Now, she saw a crack in Rob's armor, not just rage, but a wish for better. Jackie's voice slipped in, warm and firm. Rob's onto something. We tier people. Down fast Will's fall was brutal. The real strength? It's standing up after the crash. He's apologized. Face the heat, maybe he can rebuild. Show kids it's not over when you stumble. Kyle scratched his chin, his tone gruff but softer. Yeah, all right, he's not done. But no more smacking blokes, eh? Chris handled it. Like a king, Will's got to earn that respect back. Sarah nodded, her voice steadying. I get it, he screwed up big time. Jim's right, it stole shine. But I believe in second chances. Will can do more than apologize. He can prove it with action. The booth hummed with a shared understanding, not absolution, but possibility. Rob tilted his head, a faint smile. Tugging. Chris showed us how to rise above. Will's got a shot to learn that. Let's not bury him yet. Sarah met his gaze, a spark igniting. Agreed. It's not about forgetting, it's about growing. Jackie smiled, sealing it. That's the win, grace, and grit. The air lightened, a Thanksgiving truce born from clash. promising redemption over ruin. Rob Schneider stepped out of the Kyle and Jackie O Show studio into Sydney's golden dusk on November 26, 2024, the mix echo fading behind him. He paused, glancing at the listeners beyond the glass. "Let talent and grit win, not fists," he said, voice firm. "Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, Chris, for keeping comedy's flame alive. Well, rise up, mate." He flashed a grin, inviting. The crowd, "Tell us your take below." Sarah smiled from the booth, hope rekindled. The slap was a scar, not the story's end. Grace, not drama, would light the way, a lesson for all beyond that wild Oscars night.